Starting with the great name of Allah, who is the most merciful and most beneficent. I am the teacher of class nursery, presenting Peshawar Model School, Nursery campus. And before starting my lecture, first subscribe our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon. Good morning and Assalamu alaikum, dear students and dear parents. How are you all? Hope you all will be fine, and I'm here with the 6th lecture of English subject. And in the previous lectures we read about the letter A, letter B and letter C, and today we read about the new letter. Do you know which letter is next? You don't know? I will tell you about the next letter, that which letter is next. Now first revise the previous lecture work. Like, look here, which letter is this? It's a letter A. Which letter is this? It's a letter B. Which letter is this? It's a letter C. A, B, K. These are the sounds of these letters. And now look here, which letter is next? First look, I will use again these lines. So look here, first I pick up the vertical line from here. Look, it's a vertical line. And now I pick a semicircle from here. Look, which letter is this? Wow, it's a capital D. Which letter is this? It's a D, letter D, and it's a capital D. Which letter is this? It's a letter D. Now how we draw a small d? It's baby D. Like, look here. First we draw a semicircle like this. Again semicircle. And then draw a vertical line. It's become a small d. Capital D, small d. We use vertical line and semicircle in both letters. Like, look here. First we draw vertical line and then we draw a big semicircle, a big tummy, and small d. First we draw a small semicircle, then we draw a vertical line. It's become a small d. Capital D, small d. And the D says D. The D says D. Every letter makes the sound. The D says D. Very good. And now look here. Capital D and small d is just like talking. Look, they are talking with each other. They are talking. Now capital D and small d is just like talking. देखिए ये दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ बातें कर रहे हैं. जैसे कि हमने पढ़ा कैपिटल बी और स्मॉल बी वॉकिंग कर रहे, आगे आगे जा रहे. लेकिन कैपिटल डी और स्मॉल डी तो एक दूसरे के साथ टॉकिंग कर रहे, बातें कर रहे. देखिए कैपिटल डी और स्मॉल डी एक दूसरे को देख रहे हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ बातें कर रहे. तो इनका फेस आप लोगों ने इस तरह बनाना है, जबकि कैपिटल बी और स्मॉल बी का फेस ऐसे वॉकिंग की शेप में बनाना है कि ये दोनों वॉक कर रहे हैं. सो capital D, small d, and the D says D. Every letter makes the sound. The D says D. Now look here. What is this? D is for door. D, D, door. D is for door. D, D, door. D is for drum. D, D, drum. D is for drum. D, D, drum. D is for dog. D, D, dog. D is for dog. D, D, dog. D is for duck. D, D, duck. D is for duck. D, D, duck. D is for dinosaur. D, D, dinosaur. D is for dinosaur. D, D, dinosaur. D is for deer. D, D, deer. D is for deer. D, D, deer. Now I will show you a letter D video. Do you like? Yes. Do you enjoy the video? Yes, I also enjoy the video. Now look here how we write the capital D and small d. Look, there are four lines again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four lines are here, and how we draw the capital D and small d. And how many lines we draw the capital D? Look here. Start from the first line. Draw vertical line in upper three lines. 1, 2 and 3. Capital D touch the upper three lines. Then draw a big semicircle in also upper three lines like this. It's a capital D. And how we draw a small d, like look here. First draw vertical line in upper three lines and then draw a semicircle like this. Capital D के साइड पे इसका फेस होगा like capital D and small d is like talking. So it's a capital D and small d. Now here we have a reading of D. Reading of D. Look here. It's a letter D. Which letter is this? It's a letter D. And the D says D. Every letter makes the sound. The D says D. Now D is for duck. D, D, duck. D is for drum. D, D, drum. D is for dog. D, D, dog. D is for deer. D, D, deer. D is for door. D, D, door. D is for ducks. D, D, ducks. Now we will write how we write in the workbook. Look here. Take out page number 1616 and you will write the capital D and small d. Look here. Here it's a capital D and small d. It's a capital D, small d, and small d and capital D is just like talking. The D, the duck, and D, the door. What is this? It's a door. And now look how we write the capital D and small d. First draw vertical line. You will trace the capital D like this. Touch the capital D in upper three lines. And the small d also touch the upper three lines, but here we have a small semicircle like this. Small semicircle in mid two lines. And here we have a big semicircle in upper three lines. And capital D, small d. It's become like talking. Look here. अब आप लोगों ने क्या करना है, ये सारी ट्रेसिंग आप लोगों ने कंप्लीट करनी है नीट एंड क्लीन. बुक को बिल्कुल भी ख़राब नहीं करना, बिल्कुल नीट क्लीन ट्रेसिंग करनी है. और साथ में आप लोगों ने जो मैंने आप लोगों को कहा है कि रेफ रजिस्टर में आप लोगों ने ये विदाउट ट्रेसिंग भी करना है. कोशिश करनी है कि आप लोग खुद भी करें वहाँ पे. इसी तरह ट्रेसिंग के बाद आप लोगों ने डक को कलर करना है. डक को आप लोगों ने येलो कलर करना है. इट्स येलो like look here. And coloring also neat and clean. First you will start from the corners. मैंने आप लोगों को प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स में कलर्स करने का तरीका बताया था कि किस तरह आप लोगों ने कलर्स करने हैं. देखिए इसी तरह आप लोगों ने कॉर्नर्स को पहले कलर्स करना है, फिर उसके बाद आप लोगों ने मिड में आके यहाँ पे राउंड में कलर्स करना है. इस तरह आप लोगों के कलर्स बिल्कुल भी आउटलाइन से बाहर नहीं जाएंगे. उन आप लोगों ने वाइट स्पेस छोड़नी है. कलरिंग भी नीट एंड क्लीन और राइटिंग भी नीट एंड क्लीन, तब आप लोग को अच्छे मार्क्स मिलेंगे. और साथ में स्टार, गुड, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग आप लोगों को मिलेगा. साथ में प्राइजेस भी मिलेंगे. इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल डक. एंड देन यू विल कलर द डोर. You will color the door. Very good. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Allah Hafiz.